Hello, everyone. This is Jimmy Cultist back again with, actually, it's not again, but we're making a video on localized gravity, or how to affect global gravity in certain areas. First thing I want to do is get some lighting going. We're going to change the lighting just a little bit. And we're going to need a character, so I'm going to search for my already existing characters and let's see. There he is. We're going to use this little fella as our example. Let's give him a quick test. He seems to move all right. Now we're going to need something to signify our anti-gravity field. So I'm just going to go ahead and stamp out a sculpt. This is probably not the most efficient way to do this. You could probably use fog or any number of methods, or even just have it so in certain rooms the gravity is altered, but I'm going to be using a brick for convenience. We'll make it nice and wide so we can kind of like romp around in it and, you know, experiment with the 0G. Then we're just going to go ahead and convert it to a painting. Make it kind of see-through-y. Make it waxy and shiny. Maybe even make it glow just a little bit. Then we'll pull this forward. That should be good enough. Maybe give it a weird effect so that it's kind of like a jelly cube or something. I'm not sure what it is. That looks good to me. But this is how you would create localized anti-gravity. Maybe we'll turn up the sun just a tiny bit. Make sure your puppet has a label of some sort. We'll make him friend. We also might want a brick. To act as a basis for a logic, like a mount. Make it invisible and non-collidable. I might also make it white, just so it stands out from the rest. This will be our little anti-gravity thingamabob. Now there's several ways. First we're going to use a zone, set it to detect label. So when it detects a friend, it will change gravity within our scene. And we're going to go ahead and move it over to the corner. Better have precise move. Oops. That's pretty much, you know, it's the height and the distance of the cube. We are going to have some platforms so that we can sort of tell. I want to be able to judge gravity, you know, and tell how it's changed or whatever. So we're going to have this platform that you can reach up here. Now, one way to alter gravity is with the puppet itself. Basically, you can just go in here, turn down his gravity manually with a keyframe once you've entered the zone. The problem with this is if you update the puppet, I'm not sure if this would carry over. You'd have to be careful to do this, you know, in every single level. And that could get kind of tedious. But as you can see, the gravity is actually, you know, turned down. Although mostly it's just making him floatier. If you want him to jump higher, you would also want to alter his jump height. So let's go ahead and do that. We'll alter it to 3.5. Normal jump height, anti-gravity jump height. Also, you'll notice he like kind of kicks his legs around in the air. If you want to stop that from happening, this isn't really related to anti-gravity, but just in case you're curious about how to stop that. Go into here, click on this keyframe, scope into it with L1 and X, and once you're in record mode, just shut off the power to poses, and that should stop the kicking. In case you wondered how that's done, let's go ahead and give it a try. See, you're not doing the kicking anymore. It's an uninterrupted, floaty jump. Kind of cool. Anyway. Alright, now there's one other thing I wanted to do. I might add a tiny effect for the anti-gravity. Let's try this out for size. I'd like to add like a kind of little sparkly effects of some sort. So that when you're inside the anti-grav, you know, thing, you kind of get the sense that there's like energy or something in the air being applied to you. So we'll just use these paint flecks, go to animation, set it to pulse, loop, playback speed 5%, trail length 5, and it should create these little wispy things. And you can kind of make them wiggle or whatever if you just Now, how do we get this to where, you know, it's inside the cube? Well, we could just make it so it appears everywhere when you're in the cube. Go to the keyframe, and all you have to do is go to this duplicate setting, set around camera, and that should do nicely. Maybe add a few more. Alright, so that should work just fine. Also, just put this somewhere where it can't be seen. And we'll test this real quick. That gives a pretty good, you know, illusion. Alright. That's a minor detail, just something to kind of spice up the scene a little bit. Now, what I really wanted to talk about is there's another way that you can do this without the use of the keyframe. And that's by going to Gameplay Gear and Global Settings. Well, you could use a keyframe, it just won't be attached to the puppet specifically, it'll be attached to the global settings. And what you do is, you go in here, and you can alter these. Like you can alter the gravity strength. Make sure to turn these on. You can also adjust the fall height. And the camera boundary, and a lot of other things. By the way, I've never messed around with adjusting the fall height. Probably should have done that at some point. Anyway, we're going to make the gravity strength 13%. See what happens. So when we enter this, it'll start messing with the global settings, and we're going to see a change. This is basically a way of altering the puppet's, natural gravity without having to directly mess around with him. I might turn it down to 0 and find out what happens. The only problem I can think of... Oh, no gravity means he can't jump at all. Well, that's a fun little fact, kids. Just keep that in mind. We'll put it at 1%. See what happens there. Yeah, I think I'd advise... This method also works, but you're still going to end up having to alter his basic jump height with the keyframe. Now, one way you could do it is you could maybe have a tag hooked up here that's like anti-gravity, the tag. Or even a zone. We'll have a zone hooked up. Anti-gravity. And this is like an alternative way you could do it. Make sure it's set to detect tag. And we'll just go ahead and delete this. Anti-gravity. And then we'll just have this built into the puppet so that whenever he enters this area, you can save him as an asset. Let's go ahead and get gravity. Make sure the font and everything matches up. Capital G. Gotta make sure it's capitalized. Otherwise it won't work. Has to match exactly. And we could just have like a chip inside our puppet. Like this. Stick a chip in here, take out a keyframe, and we just alter his jump height to what we did before. Take down the gravity to 45%, hook it to the keyframe, so when we enter this zone, that tag is automatically going to turn on the keyframe, and we're going to have an anti-grav effect, and this will be universal in any level that includes that zone, so... That would be nice and easy, and I think that's probably the best way if you want to create an anti-gravity effect. Just do something like that. You could even apply it globally, like if you wanted a level where you turn a switch off and on, and it makes the whole level go that way. Just have it so that it's in scene. So the entire scene can be turned to anti-gravity or shut off just by shutting off the zone itself. Anyway, I hope you found that helpful for all of your gravity-defying needs. Now, if you're interested in a tutorial as to how to make you stick to things like they have their own gravity, that's a bit more advanced. I don't think I've even ever tried to make that so far. I know it can be done, though. I've seen other people do it, so yeah, maybe we'll get into that sometime. But for now, This is just the most simple way to make you more floaty and have less gravity, jump higher, and that sort of thing for all your platforming needs. I'm going to give a quick shout out to our monthly supporters on Coffee. Yes, there they go. Wonderful people. And that's all for now. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to the channel. And don't forget to ring the notification bell so you never miss another video. If you wish to support our earnest insanity, you can check the links in the description to donate or buy merch. Until next time, goodbye.